Hey guys, here we are again with our BMW F800GS. In this episode we're gonna replace the brake pads in the rear because are getting pretty wore out, and at the same time we're gonna replace all the fluid for the rear brake system with a .4 fluid over here. And on top of that we might add little bits and pieces here and there. Those are cheap pieces that I got on Amazon, like the brake pedal extender and the ABS sensor protector for the rear. But enough with the chit chat, let's get on it. First thing we're going to do is remove the brake pads, and amazingly enough this is the same process you go and do on a Scrambler 800. As a matter of fact, the brake pads are the same, exact same of the Ducati Scrambler. First thing you need to do is push on the caliper to retract the piston and give you some room to remove and install the brand new brake pads. Obviously the brand new brake pads are going to be much thicker than the old ones. So there are two ways you can push the caliper. One is by hand, by just pushing, but it takes what it takes. Or second, you can actually get a socket, put it in the back of the caliper on the empty space, touching the brake pad, then put a C-clamp in there, and with the C-clamp against the socket you just put there, just start cranking, and easy as it gets. As you guys can see, the piston is going back in. Here we go, all the way in, and now you can undo your C-clamp, pull it out, pull everything out, and at this point you have plenty of space. Next step in our journey is to remove the R pin that actually keeps this aligning pin in place, and easy enough, you just grab it and pull it out like that. At this point you need to push this pin through to free up the brake pads. I have this is nothing more than a nail with the tip cut off, and what you do, you stick the nail in this little hole right here, then you get one of those plumber thingy, whatever they're called. I'm not a plumber, amazingly enough, being Italian and all, and you press the pin out like that. Once the pin is out, as you guys can see, the brake pad full on fall down, but you don't have to remove the pin completely, you can just leave it hanging if you want. But remove that, and amazingly enough the brake pads come out, 1 and 2. As you guys can see, there is plenty of space. The piston is fully retracted over here. And if we go take a look at the reservoir, you'll see that now the fluid is way up. As you guys can see, this is the brand new brake pad that we're gonna put in, and has a lip on this side and a hole on this side. Now what you're gonna do is, inside the caliper there is actually a shelf type of thing where you put the brake pad lip on top just like this, and then you push it up so that you can put the aligning pin through the hole. And it doesn't get any easier than that. This is it. It's one of the easiest brake systems you can encounter. So let's begin, and let's start with the one on the inside. So you grab the brake pad, you slide it in between the caliper and the disc. Look through the back over here if the brake pad is sitting on that shelf I talked to you about, and then that's it, one is in. Let's get brake pad number 2, Let's put it through. Now if you spread the caliper properly, you should have no problem installing this again real quick. That's it. 1 and 2 are in. The only thing to do is put the pin through the hole in the back. Remember, with the grabbing portion, this little ring towards the inside. So you put it in, align the first brake pad into it, like that, too much. And then align the second brake pad in it, like that. Make sure by looking around that everything is in the proper position, and now you can actually clamp this thing down. So I'm gonna grab my plumber pliers over here and squeeze that thing back in. Now make sure that the aligning pin is all the way in, and to do this you just have to look at the hole where the other pin goes in. If you can clearly see the hole right there, then the aligning pin is fully in. At this point, time to press the R pin back where it belongs, and the same way it was in before. At this point, make sure that everything sits properly. Take a good look around, and you're done. So we can move on to the brake fluid. First thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make it easy for myself to get access to the reservoir. Now the reservoir is pretty much behind the frame, and it's gonna be difficult to add fluid to it. And since I'm replacing the old fluid, I might as well make it easy on myself. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open it up. I'm gonna remove this screw over here. Once I remove this screw, put it aside. Now the reservoir can be moved. Since the reservoir can be moved right now, I'm gonna do one thing. First of all, I'm gonna get the fluid inside the reservoir, and I'm gonna dump it in here. So at this point I don't need to siphon the fluid out as I would have to if I didn't take it apart. So as you guys can see, this brake fluid is pretty dark. It shouldn't be, it should look like olive oil. I'm gonna clean everything up. Here we go. And at the same time, I'm gonna clean the membrane inside the cap as well. At this point, I'm gonna get a longer screw, and I'm gonna get it through here and put it in there. This way, this thing is actually accessible to me without banging on anything. This is nothing else than a 2-inch screw that is the same thread as the one I removed. I have it laying around, but any hardware store will have it. Time to come back on this side of the bike, and let's free the bleeding nipple that we're gonna use to bleed the brakes. There you go. And at this point, you also want to move aside the wire for the sensor. Grab an 11mm key and put it in there, just like that. And then, if you may, get yourself one of those. It's nothing more than a piece of tube and this little reservoir, but it'll let the fluid go in, so you won't spill any. So get the tube in there and put this anywhere where you can capture the fluid that will go through the tube. We are back on this side and it's time to put some .4 inside the reservoir. So we're gonna fill out the reservoir with fresh and brand new oil. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna press on the pedal over here when at the same time I'm gonna open the bleeding nipple on the other side and let the fluid go in. The pedal goes all the way down, close the bleeding nipple and up, and as you guys seen, the fluid has gone down. Let's look at it again. I close, and as soon as I let go, boop, the fluid is going down. Once the fluid in the reservoir has gone down, I'm gonna add some more. And I'm gonna keep repeating this operation until the fluid that comes out the other side, it's actually clear. So it might take, remember we're bleeding the whole system, but the system is kind of small, so it shouldn't take that much. Once the fluid starts running clear on the other side, you are done. Close everything up, put the nipple cap back on it, and it's time to top off the reservoir. Once your reservoir is topped off, put the cap back on it. This cap gives a good seal, so nothing is gonna spill out. Remove the big screw and put the original screw back on it. Brake fluid is being flushed and replaced with fresh fluid. Let's move on. Next step on our rear brake system journey is to add this brake extender. This is a cheap brake extender that I got on Amazon. Now, I never understood why some company charge 40, 50, 60 bucks for this. The installation is really simple. This one goes on top of your original brake pedal, pretty much just like this. And obviously extend the surface of the pedal itself quite a bit. And then you get the back side that goes on so that those lip on the edges, actually grab onto the OEM pedal. So I'm gonna put it in. That should do. It's on. Now this is way bigger, way easier to find in difficult situations. Here is another piece that is hardly necessary, but it was so cheap that I said, sure, why not? This is the cover for the rear ABS sensor. Let's put it on. This is same thing, single screw, very easy. First, remove the OEM screw, which is a T30. With that out, it's time to assemble the protector itself. Longer screw goes inside the hole, spacer in the back, and on it. Then grab a 4mm Allen key and screw it in. Looking good. The rear brake system is being taken care of. We replaced the brake pads, we replaced the whole brake fluid, we bleed the brakes, and we added a few things. We enlarged the rear brake pedal, and we put some protection on the ABS sensor. So we're done for today. For everything I used in this video, check the link down below. Also, Amazon finally gave me a page all for myself, so for anything I put on the F800GS, you can go on amazon.com/shop/AlbeZDV and you'll find everything I buy on Amazon for this bike. If you like the video, if you love the video, subscribe. If you don't love the video, let me know why not, and I'm gonna try to fix it. On that note, when I reach the 5,000 subscribers, I would like to do a ride with all the people that can actually come to Southern California. So let me know in the comment down below if you're nearby, if you would like to go on a ride, and we'll go from there. We probably have a few months to go before we get there, but it's never too soon to start getting ready for it. Other than that, dirt on, and I'll see you next time.